right, welcome back to the Friday show presented by DRF Bets. I'm Scott Jagow along with Ray Paulick. Lots to talk about today. It's opening day at Saratoga, one of the most anticipated days on the racing calendar. But first, how was the first week at Del Mar?
It was short. It was the first Friday opening day of Del Mar since 1970, and the weekend seemed a little quiet. But compared to the freak show of Friday when there was over 42,000 people, anything would be quieter than that. And it was busier than a year ago when, if you remember, it rained both Saturday and Sunday of opening weekend at Del Mar, which never happened. So the numbers are up this year.
But we'll have to see whether that sustains going forward. But there's more to look forward to starting tomorrow. California Chrome is back, making his first start in the San Diego since winning the Dubai World Cup. You know, it's not a huge field that he's facing, but he is facing Dortmund, and I think he might be overlooked. Dortmund has won 8 out of his 10 races. He's only lost the Derby and the Preakness. He's also shown the ability to come off a layoff and win, which he's going to have to do this time because he hasn't raced since November.
This is not a gimme for California Chrome. He had a great workout last Saturday. This is a prep race, though. This is not the race they really are pointing to. It's the Pacific Classic, August 20th, and a showdown against Beholder, and that's a race you're not going to want to miss.
No. There's lots to look forward to this year. Maybe at the beginning of the year we thought there wouldn't be that much star power, but with Chrome and Beholder and Tepin dominating the turf division, and then on the 3-year-old side, of course, we've got Nyquist and Exaggerator and that ilk. And then the females, Songbird. She's back this weekend at Saratoga. And it could be a showdown with Karina Mia, who has been very impressive lately. In fact, my buddy Mike Vesey at the Daily Racing Forum said her last workout on the 15th was one of the best he's ever seen.
Yeah, Songbird has not only undefeated, but really untested. And I think all of us are looking forward to seeing her tested, whether it's Karina Mia or somebody else, to see what she's got at the top of the stretch when somebody comes up to her. We'll see. I think she'll pass the test, but let's wait and see what happens Sunday in the Oaks.
Yeah, and there's a lot, of course we're looking forward to the Travers. We're looking forward to the Whitney and all the great traditional stakes at Saratoga, the big fields, the 2 turf courses, the great handicapping challenge that is Saratoga, and of course the payoffs. You always get some long shots. I've been a little disappointed with the fields for some of the graded stakes for juveniles, like the Sanford. They've been pretty small, so I'm not sure what's going on there.
I think what we're seeing is a trend of 2-year-olds starting later in the year. Races like the Sanford don't have, there's just not as many maiden winners to draw from as you had in years past. Part of it is the trend in getting a later start. Part of it is the smaller foal crop. So I think the 2-year-old races are going to be tough to fill. And as we get deep into the season with 6-day-a-week racing, it's going to be a challenge.
Yeah, New York is facing other challenges right now behind the scenes. You want to talk a little bit about the issue of re-privatizing NYRA and where that stands right now?
As much as I love Saratoga racing, I hate New York politics and the way it tries to control racing. And what's going on right now is Governor Andrew Cuomo took over the NYRA board. He said he was going to re-privatize it in 3 years. It's now been 4 years, and they're saying we need another year. But one of the things they're doing that's really pernicious is to put VLTs in the Aqueduct Casino with the money not going to racing, but going to an off-track betting corporation, which is not racing. And
wasn't there a deal in place, though, that should prevent that from happening, from these corrupt politicians coming in and doing whatever they want?
Right. It was a 25-year deal to extend the franchise to the New York Racing Association. It included NYRA turning over the deed of all the property, all the land that the tracks sit on, to the state in exchange for the renewal of the franchise and the VLT revenue. And they're trying to backtrack on that deal. The government is. Imagine that.
Yeah. Well, someone who's been involved in New York racing a long time, we found out, retired this week, and that is Stephen Christ. Personally, I remember reading his book, which I have right here, Betting on Myself, and I was very inspired by his story. I found it similar to how I got into racing. When he was a kid, he used to play Stratomatic baseball and love statistics, and that's the way I was. So racing was a good fit for me, and reading his story was really inspiring as I was just getting into the racing business. Plus, his his ideas about multi-race wagers revolutionized the way those bets are made. And personally, I still use his system in terms of that. What about you? I know you've had a long-standing relationship with Stephen.
Yeah, he gave me a big break 25 years ago when he started the Racing Times, the newspaper that revolutionized statistics and journalism. And it only lasted a year, but it changed the racing form, which he later bought and ran. And so I owe a lot to him personally, but I think all horse players do. When you look at all the things that he's stood for, all the things that he's fought to get, to me, he's on the short list that goes on the Mount Rushmore of horse racing people. And also, if you wanted to say, we need a czar, let's appoint a czar for racing. I don't think he wants the job, yeah. But Stephen is one of those people that I think you put on the short list.
We wish him the best in his retirement, and I'm sure we'll probably spot him at Saratoga, or at least see his money in the pools. Right. All right, that's going to do it for this edition of the Friday Show, presented by DRF Bets. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.